My name is Brittany Merriman. I'm doing a project over The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I apologize in advance. I cannot get my phone to turn around, so you're just going to be stuck looking at the presentation the whole time. I'm going to start off with Margaret Atwood's biography. She is from Ottawa, Ontario. She was born November 18th, 1939. She's still alive today. Her first book was written in 1961. She attended the University of Toronto, Radcliffe College, Harvard University. The Handmaid's Tale was written in 1986. Currently, she lives in Toronto with Graham Gibson, another writer. She has one daughter named Jess. In 2000, she won Great Britain's Booker Prize for The Blind Assassin. Other things that she's written are Happy Endings, Rape Fantasy, Free for All, and Unearthing Sweet. The Handmaid's Tale was made a movie in 1990 and will be a Hulu original TV show in 2017. Thought that was interesting. Anyways, so the characters in the novel are Offred. She's the narrator, the main character. Everything pretty much centers around her. The commander is the head of household where Offred works. Serena Joy is the commander's wife. Mora was Offred's best friend from college. She knew her before, and she ended up running into her in this life. Aunt Lydia is a person in charge at the Red Center. Nick is a guardian at the commander's house. Offglen was another handmaid. She's Offred's shopping partner. Cora is a Martha that works in the commander's house. Janine, or she's also called of Warren. She's also a housemaid that has an unbaby, which is basically a baby that didn't survive. Luke was Offred's husband from before. Offred's mother is also in there. We just don't know her name. She was a feminist. She was also an actress. Aunt Elizabeth, she's an aunt at the Red Center that is attacked by Mora. Rita, she's a Martha that works at the commander's home also. I also put a quick classification of the characters because sometimes it gets confusing. Handmaids in the book are people that are solely used for making babies. Each month they're forced to have sex with the commanders in the hopes of conceiving a child for this family that cannot have kids of their own. They have really strict rules. They can't leave unless they're shopping. They stay in their bedroom. They can't keep their door open, or can't keep their door closed. Their names are made up by putting the word of in front of the commander's name. The aunts in the book are women who are in charge of teaching the handmaids their new way of life and their beliefs. All the aunts live at the Red Center. So they take in the women as they start to come in and start to learn. The commanders are the heads of the household. They're going to be the ones that are trying to get the babies. The wives of the commanders are married to the commander. They can't have kids, obviously. Guardians are going to be the low-level guards of the homes in Gilead. The Marthas are servants. They cannot have children, which is why they were maidservants to begin with. The Eyes are the secret police in Gilead. They'll come after you if you do something wrong. The theme of this is obviously a dystopian society. Everything in this society seems bad. So, the summary. The Republic of Gilead has replaced the United States of America with a dystopian way of life. Handmaids are assigned to important families in the community who cannot have their own children. We learn in the book that the commander is one of the people who actually created Gilead. Offred belongs to the commander and his wife, Serena Joy. Before Gilead, Offred had an affair with a married man, Luke, who she married and had a child with. Before taking over the country, the architects of Gilead cut off women's rights. They could not have property, jobs, or money. One of the architects, of course, would be the commander that she lives with. When this started to get bad, Offred and Luke tried to take their daughter and leave the country, but they were caught and split up. Now they haven't seen each other since then. The reason they weren't allowed to stay married like some other couples were is because he was obviously married before. After they were split up, Offred was sent to the Red Center and taught the new ways of life by the aunts, Aunt Lydia and Aunt Elizabeth. Offred gets assigned to the commander's house and begins her routine. She shops with Offglyn, who's also a handmaid, for another house. They visit the wall to see the rebels hanging, people who try to break out. They go to the doctor once a month to check for diseases and any other problems that could happen to keep you from having the baby. And then there's ceremonies each month before they try to conceive. The commander will read from the Bible. At one visit from the doctor offers to get her pregnant so she can be out of her current situation. He does this in hopes that, or in fear that maybe the commander can't have children either. Offred begins visiting the commander in his study to play Scrabble, talk, and do other things she's not allowed to be doing. He brings her lotion. They're not allowed to have lotion. They're not supposed to be reading, so he'll let her read. Playing Scrabble is really forbidden, so she does that as well. Just because he's not as close to his wife as he used to be. Then Offglyn tells Offred that she's part of Mayday, an underground operation to overthrow Gilead. Apparently there are a bunch of handmaids that are a part of this, as well as guardians. Since Offred has not become pregnant yet, Serena Joy offers to help her become pregnant by allowing her to meet with Nick secretly. In exchange, she gives Offred a picture of her daughter, who obviously she knew where she was the whole time. The commander takes Offred the same night that she's supposed to meet up with Nick to a club called Jezebel's, where she ends up running into Mora again. Earlier in the story, Mora had attacked Aunt Elizabeth, and they caught her, and they ended up bringing her here because she was a threat to humanity. Then Offred and Nick begin meeting up frequently. All of the handmaids are required to go to a public execution where a man that is part of Mayday is accused of rape. Offglyn ends up killing him to put him out of his misery. Then the next shopping trip, the Offglyn that we knew before is not her anymore. It's a new lady. She says that the old Offglyn hung herself because she knew she had been caught for being a part of Mayday. After she goes home that night, Serena Joy finds out about the trip that the commander and Offred take to Jezebel's and threatens punishment on Offred. Then the black van from the Eyes, it's full of police officers. They're the ones that end up arresting you or killing you if you do something you're not supposed to, which obviously she's not supposed to go there. The black van shows up, and Nick comes in with them to tell Offred that they are part of Mayday. They take her away, and we don't know what happens to her after that. So basically, we're led to believe that she got out, which is possible, or she could have gotten caught again. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's the end. Thanks.